Welcome to this explainer. You know, if you're trying to figure out the absolute best cities to celebrate America's 250th birthday, you have landed in exactly the right spot. Today, we're diving into a highly curated, thematic travel guide for the 2026 Semiquincentennial. And yeah, I know, it's a bit of a mouthful, but that is the official term for the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. We've gone ahead and synthesized all the official announcements, all the source material to map out exactly what's happening, where it's happening, and how you can actually be a part of it. So I want to start off with a really crucial question for you. Where will you be? I mean, it sounds like a simple question, right? But the options are honestly staggering. Because 2026 isn't just going to be another summer. The planners are meticulously engineering this to be the biggest, most synchronized celebration of our lifetime. From these massive, immersive, historical blockbusters all the way to wild glimpses into the future, the whole nation is rolling out an unprecedented array of events. To really wrap your head around the sheer scale of this thing, just consider this number, 350 million. That's the number of Americans invited to this nationwide, completely synchronized birthday party. They're actually calling it America's Block Party, which is pretty fitting. And the focal point of all this massive coordination, it's the July 3rd to July 5th weekend in 2026. This is possible because the 4th of July falls on a Saturday that year, so it's really designed to be this giant, shared experience spanning every single state and territory. Destination 1, the History Heavyweights. Okay, so for those of you who want to step straight back into the 18th century, we are heading straight to the East Coast. We're talking Philadelphia. Philly's offerings are incredibly dense. I mean, it's literally the epicenter. On July 4th at Independence Hall, they're dedicating America's time capsule. It's going to be loaded with items telling our story today, and get this, it won't be opened until the year 2026 for the 500th anniversary. Wild, right? But even before that, on July 3rd, Philly is hosting the Salute to Independence Parade. It's designed to be the largest professionally produced anniversary parade in U.S. history. They've expanded the route to wind completely around City Hall, and it's going to feature 50 marching bands and all 52 Miss America title holders performing localized routines. Oh, and the First Bank of the United States, it's reopening for the first time in 50 years. Now, the contrast in how different cities are celebrating this milestone is just vast. It's like night and day. Up in Boston, from July 11th to the 16th, they're hosting Sail 250. Dozens of these majestic 18th century tall ships from over 25 countries are going to glide right into Boston Harbor. So you've got this massive, beautiful nod to our maritime past on the East Coast. But then, on the exact opposite side of the country in San Francisco, they are showcasing full-size electric air taxis from Joby Aviation. So you have the past versus the future, both uniquely American. Bringing it back to the East Coast for just a second, we definitely can't forget the Southern military campaigns. Charleston is actually one of only 4 official America250 showcase cities, and their highlights are absolutely incredible. Fort Moultrie is hosting Carolina Day, commemorating the 250th anniversary of the Battle of Sullivan's Island. They've also got the Heritage 250 Festival, which is a week-long living history event right in Marion Square. And on the 4th of July, they are going to light up the peninsula with literally the largest waterfront fireworks display in the entire Southeast. Destination 2, the Innovation Showcase. So if you're the kind of person who wants to look at the future of American ingenuity rather than its past, we're heading back west. San Francisco is hosting a massive, free, open-to-the-public expo called America Innovates. This whole thing is happening in May 2026, perfectly timed to align with National Inventors Month, by the way. And it's being co-hosted by Forbes and America250, right at the Fort Mason Gateway Pavilion. So what's actually going to be there? Well, it's pretty much a high-tech wonderland. You're going to find that full-size electric air taxi we were just talking about right alongside Canopy's connected safety platforms for healthcare. Forbes is also going to be doing live on-stage interviews with honorees from their Innovator 250 list. And they are broadcasting this directly from the HP Garage, which, if you didn't know, is widely recognized as the literal birthplace of Silicon Valley. And perhaps the coolest part for the next generation of entrepreneurs, they're hosting America's Startup. It's this really high-stakes competition where college students will pitch bold, early-stage ventures to actual venture capitalists for real funding. Destination 3, spectacles, sports, and music. If you are seeking massive block parties, intense sports convergences, and just sheer jaw-dropping entertainment, you're going to want to pay close attention here. Over a really intense 48-hour blockbuster timeline, the celebrations are basically going to chase the sun from coast to coast.
Check this out. At 11:59 p.m. on July 3rd, for the first time in its 120-year history, the Times Square ball is going to drop outside of New Year's Eve. And it's featuring custom crystals with infinite life, liberty, and happiness motifs. Then the morning of the 4th belongs to Philadelphia, with that time capsule dedication we mentioned. By the night of the 4th, the party hits the West Coast at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. They are throwing a massive, family-friendly concert for up to 50,000 people in person, plus a nationwide live stream so everyone can tune in.
Now, you're probably wondering, what about the nation's capital? Well, Washington, D.C. is transforming the iconic National Mall into a giant, interactive canvas. They're hosting the Great American State Fair right in the dead center of the city. But honestly, the most surprising detail from our sources is the Freedom 250 Grand Prix. Listen to this. They are literally constructing a temporary 1.7-mile IndyCar street race course right on the National Mall. It's going to wind around the Capitol and straight down Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, no way, right? Add to that the Rededicate 250 moments and the massive Salute to America fireworks, and DC is going to be an absolute must-visit spectacle. And okay, we really have to give one more shout out to Philadelphia here, because Philly isn't just relying on the Declaration of Independence in 2026, it is experiencing a massive global sports convergence simultaneously. If you happen to be in Philly that summer, you aren't just celebrating America's birthday, you might also be attending the FIFA World Cup or the MLB All-Star Game. They're both happening right there in the city around the exact same time. Talk about a busy summer. Destination 4, your 2026 adventure awaits. So deciding where to go is really only half the battle, right? Knowing how to navigate it is the actual key to a great trip. Let's look at your operational playbook derived straight from the official planning sources. In Philadelphia, expect severe traffic in Center City because of the parade routes. Relying on SEPTA Metro and regional rail is going to be essential. In Washington, D.C., you're going to encounter extreme security cordons around all the National Mall events, so the Metro is highly, highly recommended. Seriously, do not even try to drive near the monuments. Over in San Francisco, Fort Mason will have severely limited parking, so rideshares and public transit are definitely your best bets. And in Los Angeles, just know that the massive 50,000-person Coliseum concert is a fully cashless venue, and taking the Go Metro Expo line is heavily advised. Basically, planning ahead is absolutely non-negotiable for 2026. And that brings us to the end of our itinerary. We've seen the 18th century tall ships, the futuristic electric air taxis, actual Indy cars racing past the Capitol, and a time capsule just waiting for the 23rd century. It's a lot to take in, so I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Which American story will you step into in 2026? Start planning right now, because history and the future are waiting. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.